Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, class. How are you all? You are welcome to this section. Today we are revising theory of production. Theory of production. These are our outlines for today's revision. Definition of production, types of goods, types of production, further division of indirect production, factors that determine the volume of production, then assignment immediately after watching this slide. Definition of production. Production may be defined as the conversion of raw materials into finished goods and their distribution to the final consumer for satisfaction of human wants. Production may be defined as the conversion or processing or transformation of basic raw materials into finished goods and their distribution, that is, the distribution of those finished goods to the final consumer for the satisfaction of human want. For instance, cocoa can be processed into beverages like Milo, Bonfita. Likewise, cotton can be processed to obtain textiles. Latex can be processed to obtain different rubber products or plastic products. All of these are examples of production. Types of goods that can be produced. There are two types of goods that can be produced, namely consumer goods and producer or capital goods. Consumer goods and producer or capital goods. This we shall explain one after the other. Number one, consumer goods. These are goods that are ready to satisfy the consumer's immediate want. These are goods that are ready to satisfy the consumer's immediate want. They do not require further processing before they are used by the consumers. Examples are milk, bread, motor car, radio set, etc. All of these are examples of consumer goods. Consumer goods can be classified into perishable goods such as milk, bread, and non-perishable goods such as motor cars, radio set, television set, etc. Number two, producer or capital goods. These are goods used to produce other goods and services. These are goods used or employed to produce other goods and services. They are used to carry out productive activities. Example of such goods are equipment, tools, plant and machinery, factories or buildings, etc. All of these are used to produce other goods and services. Types of production. Production can be divided into two types: direct production and indirect production. Direct production and indirect production. Number one, direct production. This is the type of production in which an individual produces goods and services only for family consumption. This is the type of production in which an individual produces goods and services only for family consumption. The goods produced under this type of productions are not for sale. They are not for sale. They are meant to be used by the family. Example is subsistence farming. Example of direct production is subsistence farming. A subsistence farmer only cultivates land for himself and his family member only. He does not sell whatever he harvests at the end of the day under this type of production. Number two, indirect production. This is the type of production in which goods and services are produced in large quantity, mainly for sales. This is the type of production in which goods and services are produced in large quantity, mainly for sale. Goods are produced on a large scale here. In order to produce goods on a large scale, it involves the use of modern equipment, skilled labor to be able to produce surplus goods and services that the producer will then exchange for money. The producer can use the money he realized from the sales of this product to satisfy his other wants and need. The society's wants are so unlimited that it is not possible for an individual to produce whatever he needs by himself. In other words, everybody has to depend on one another to satisfy his or her need. Further division of indirect production. Number one, primary production. Primary production. This refers to extraction of raw materials or basic natural resources provided by nature. This refers to extraction of raw materials provided by nature. Raw materials can be extracted from the river, from the sea, ocean, forest, soil, etc. They are the basis for production. They are the basis for production. Primary production is the basis for production. Other examples include farming, hunting, quarrying, mining, etc. All of these activities are found under primary production. Number two, secondary production. This involves processing of basic raw materials into finished or semi-finished goods which are acceptable by the consumers. This means utility has been added to the product of primary production. Secondary production comprises various manufacturing and construction activities. It comprises various manufacturing and construction activities. Number three, tertiary production. This is concerned with the provision of commercial and professional services to the people. This is concerned with the provision of commercial and professional services to the people. The goods produced at primary and secondary production levels are distributed to the final consumers through these services, such as transportation, warehousing, insurance. All these are commercial activities, and legal services such as services of soldier, of police, etc. Factors that determine the volume of production. Factors that determine the volume of production. By volume of production, we mean increase or decrease in production. The following are the factors that determine the volume of production. Number one, availability of capital. Availability of capital. If there is sufficient capital for investment purpose, then the volume of production will increase. Financial resources are needed to purchase plant and machinery, equipment, and raw materials, which are required for productive activities. They are also needed for day-to-day running of the business. Capital are needed for day-to-day running of the business. Number two, availability of raw materials. If the basic raw materials needed for productions is available, then the volume of production will be increased. On the other hand, if the basic raw material needed for production is not sufficient, the volume of production cannot be increased. Number 3, efficient management. Efficient management. If the management put in place for the production of goods and services is efficient, the volume of production will be increased. Number 4, level of technology. Level of technology. The use of modern technology in the production of goods and services as against the use of old technology will increase the volume of production. That is to say, if modern technology are used to carry out productive activities, the volume of production will be increased. Number 5, the size of market. By size of market, here we mean the rate at which the goods and services produced are in demand. If there is high demand for the goods and services produced, the volume of production will be increased. Number 6, efficiency of other factors of production. Efficiency of other factors of production. Other factors of production such as labor, land, and entrepreneur are available and are efficient. If they are available and they are efficient, the volume of production can be increased. Number 7, availability of storage facilities. The availability of storage facilities will create room for further production, which on the other hand increases the volume of production. This is our assignment, which should be done immediately after watching this slide in our Google Classroom. Number 1, define production. Number 2, explain the two types of goods. Explain the two types of goods and give 2 examples of each. Number 3, explain any 5 factors that can determine the volume of production. Number 3, explain any 5 factors that can determine the volume of production. Thank you for watching this slide. If you have any observation or questions, you can forward it to our Google Classroom. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.